Hey, what's up YouTube? Today we're starting a multi-episode series of how we begin to build our arrows for hunting season. We're going to be working with a half dozen of arrows today. What we're going to be doing is nock indexing or bare shaft tuning those arrows. Stay tuned. Okay, today we're going to start off with the nock tuning process. Some of you may know this is bare shaft tuning, some of you are going to refer to it as nock tuning, but today we're going to be going through the process to nock tune 6 arrows. This is going to take a little bit of time. For me anyways, for you guys it's going to eclipse over probably in the next 5 to 10 minutes of the whole entire process. We work through 6 arrows. So what we have is we have our paper tune station that we'll be able to shoot through so we can see how our arrows are coming out of our bow. We also have a good sturdy target behind it to stop the arrows once they've gone through the paper. And what we need now is our arrows that we're going to be using for bow hunting, and they need to be bare shafted. One thing that you're going to want to do with your arrows is make sure that you mark where you're starting from on the arrows using either a Sharpie or any type of highlighter or something if you want something that's going to be a little bit easier to wipe off down through the future. So simply all we're looking at here is just my normal bare shafted arrow. I have the 125 grain tip on here with a 50 grain insert. These are the Day 6 HD 300 spine arrows. Great company to work with. I chose them. It doesn't mean you have to. You gotta find what works for you. These ones work for me. So I have the bare shaft here, and I have the very top here, or at least a nocking point where I'm starting from, marked on my arrow. Do I know that this allows me to kind of work through the process. So here's how this is going to work out. We're going to shoot each one of these arrows through the paper, and we're going to be looking to see, much like we paper tune anything else, we were looking for a perfect bullet hole. If we don't have that, we're going to start off by turning the nock probably about a quarter way each time to find if we can't improve it. If we still can't find relief, then what we'll have to do is start working on actually tuning the bow itself by either moving the rest or shimming, or since I have the Elite Cure, I'm going to start looking at working with their set technology, their simplified exact tuning technology, which is just a screw that I can dial in if I have a tail left or a tail right. Still, if I have an up or down tear, I'll either have to work on the nock point, which is kind of impractical for me, or work with how high or how low my rest is setting on the riser. So let's move on to the next step here. Now we'll be shooting this from about the same distance that you would your normal paper tune. Right around about anywhere between 6 to 9 feet is where we'll be shooting this from. Let's get that first one down there so we can take a look to see what the bullet hole looks like. Alright, let's go check it out. Alright, so as we look here, this is not the perfect bullet hole that we're looking for. We notice that there's a bit of a tear here, lateral tear. So what we're going to have to do now is we're going to twist that nock about a quarter of a way and reshoot. Alright, here's the arrow. All we're doing is we're going to turn this a quarter of the way. You can see the black marks. You can see the black marks on the arrow and the nock itself. So all I'm doing is turning that about a quarter of a way. So now the lines are not lined up. We'll shoot this again. Now as you see, our second shot was even worse. So we're going to continue to turn that nock until we can't see any improvement. If we don't get any improvement, then we're going to start working with that set technology, or we're going to start tuning the bow. Okay, so as you can see, all of these shots are definitely tailing. What I am noticing though is my very first one looks like that was the best spine position, or the best knock position. So we're going to return it back to that number one position, and then we will start this process of setting the set. And once we have that set, or if you worked with your rest, or if you worked with by shimming, whatever it is that you do to tune your bow, then we'll start the whole process again with the next arrow. Okay, so after looking at these, we determined that these are a knock right. So what that's going to translate into for you guys who have to move your rest, you're going to move your rest to the left. Very, very minutely. Small movements every time that you move until the problem corrects. For you guys who are going to be doing shims, you'll work in the shim in the right pocket that you need to go to. For the guys like me who's working with the Elite Cure, I'm going to be unscrewing my set screw to allow the set technology to work. And then, so here we have the Elite Cure and the set technology. What I'm going to do first is the screw in the back here, I need to loosen it. So I'll loosen that first using an Allen wrench. And then you're going to see that this is labeled, it's dummy proof. Dummy proof, anybody can do this. Then I'm going to move this screw and turn it about a quarter turn to right tear. Or I know it's at tail right. You're going to do the same thing down at the bottom. The bottom has the exact same setup. You're going to make sure you turn it the exact same amount on both the top and the bottom to keep things even. So I've already made my turns, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot this one more time to see if that did not correct the problem. This is the shot that I just made, so we can say we've made some improvements. So we're going to go ahead and move that set technology about another quarter turn to see if we can't shore that up a little bit more. Alright, as you see here, we finally got a good bullet hole to happen there. So we're going to go ahead and lock that set technology down. Or this is where you would no longer move your rest, or you're done adding any type of changes to your yoke or your shims. Now we're going to move on to the next arrow, and we're going to start that whole knock tuning process over again, to where we'll shoot. If it's not perfect, then we'll move the knock, and we'll keep moving the knock until we make that perfect bullet hole, because now we know we're set up perfect. Okay everybody, in the nutshell, that is knock indexing your arrows, or bare shaft tuning. We were able to get all 6 arrows to bullet hole through the paper simply by finding that best spine on the very first one, because we went through the whole rotation, found the best spine, and then we had to adjust our bow or tune our bow for that arrow. Once we had that done, it was shooting bullet holes. We shot the other remaining 5 arrows. There's a couple that we had to turn about a quarter of a turn to get them to shoot bullet holes through paper. So now, since I have my spine located on my arrows, we can move on to the next step where we're going to wrap and fletch. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes. We're going to dig in even deeper into the process to get our bow and arrow ready for the hunting season coming up here in about 5 months. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Stay safe out there, and God bless you guys. Stay tuned for upcoming. Stay tuned for upcoming. Stay tuned for upcoming. Dang it.